Welcome to Harrisonburg High School, home of the Blue Streaks. This is our rising ninth grade family and student orientation. We're glad you're here. This is our mission and our vision for our school community. Each day, we want every Blue Streak to feel safe and healthy, engaged, supported, and challenged. Meet the HHS administration team. Ms. Hensley is our principal, Ms. Hart, our associate principal. We have 4 assistant principals, as well as Mr. Burley, who serves as our athletic director, and our 2 directors of counseling. Each student is assigned an administrator based on their last name, who will be with them for their 4 years. The administrator is there to support, answer any questions, and encourage students to be successful. The HHS counseling team is made up of 7 school counselors, as well as a mental health counselor, a Blue Ridge Community College coach, and a college advisor. All of these staff members are here to support, encourage students in their social and emotional growth and development, in their academic progress, and in their college and career planning. Students are also assigned a counselor based on their last name to have for the duration of their 4 years. Ms. Feischlinger-McGrath is our ESL coordinator at the division level, but she does spend a lot of time at the high school. We are lucky to have her as she supports our students and staff who are learning English for the first time or continuing to develop their English language skills. Additionally, our homeschool liaisons are a crucial element to our school community. They help to keep our students and families well connected and engaged. Please reach out to them as you may need.
So as your student enters high school, one important thing to think about is all the different roles that their school counselor has. So we're going to take just a minute to go over those. The first one being mental health. We are definitely here to support your student in whatever ways that they need, whether it be individual counseling support. We have social emotional education through our advisory class, and then group counseling referrals and community supports as needed, as well as academic support, which is what you're going to hear a lot of today. But just remember, even though majority of this presentation is on academic student scheduling and academic supports, we are here for more than just academics. And lastly, college and career exploration. We'll be doing a lot of that, figuring out what their goals are and how to align those with the classes that they're taking. So as they go throughout high school, they'll be working with their counselor a lot about future plans and how to connect them.
As we just noted, school counselors do play a huge role in your students' mental health, and we really felt like it was important to pause and take a moment to reflect on the reality of the world that we're in right now and some extra challenges that our students are facing in light of the pandemic. If you note, there are numerous risk factors associated with what we're experiencing right now with the COVID-19, including loss of freedom, being disconnected, having to deal with the death of a loved one. These are all huge things in the life of a teen, and we want you to know that we are here to support you. We also want to encourage you to think about how these things could be impacting your student. You might notice they're having a harder time focus. You might also notice increased mood swings. We encourage you to talk with your student and keeping it in context of this unique time that we're experiencing. Connect with them. Trust your gut. If something seems off, sit down and talk to them about it. Join with them, because I know as adults, a lot of us are experiencing these things too. But don't hesitate to reach out to your school counselors. We have lots of resources to turn to support you and your family during this challenging time.
So what's different about high school? To start, there are many new classes and academic programs to choose from. Students have much more independence and responsibility. There are a lot of extracurricular activities and athletics for them to choose from. Students are now working towards their diploma requirements, so each course has the possibility of earning a credit towards their diploma. The school day schedule may feel a little different, and each grade or course that a student finishes goes into their grade point average or their GPA. Additionally, students are now planning for their future, whether it be college, looking at the military, an apprentice, community college, or an adult program. We want our students to feel that they have many options when they graduate. We do encourage our students and our staff as well to follow the Blue Streak Way. You may see these posters around the building, and we encourage students and staff to be models of them. The high school schedule currently runs from 7:45 to 2:35. Most students will take 8 classes in a year's time. There are approximately 4 90-minute blocks per day. Many courses are offered on a semester schedule, while others may meet on an alternating day block schedule. Please tune in as we get closer to the beginning of the school year for any changes or updates. How is your student schedule determined? There are various components to this. We do rely heavily on middle school teacher recommendations as they know your student best as a learner. We use the student's course requests, especially when it comes to programs, electives, or the level of a course. We do look at 8th grade test scores and grades, so we encourage students to continue to do their very best. And also, how does the master schedule fit together? Not all courses are offered every semester or every block, so it just depends on what's available. And finally, graduation requirements are always the first priority. We want our students to graduate on time. This is the class of 2025. All 9th grade students who are identified as English language learners will be provided with additional support services. English language development classes are taught by ESL teachers, and certain core courses are taught by content teachers that have ESL training. Again, questions or concerns, please do contact Laura Feischinger-McGrath. We'll pause now for a few questions.
So in high school, your student will be earning 2 types of credits. So the first credit is the standard credit, which is a credit that a student earns just by passing a course that they're taking. And then there'll also be verified credits where they receive a credit for passing the course they're taking and the associated end of course SOL or performance-based assessment. Students will need a combination of both standard and verified credits for graduation, and I'll have those detailed in the slides coming up. So for the Advanced Studies Diploma, we have 2 types of diplomas, Advanced Studies and Standard, and I'll get to the standard requirements in a second. But for the Advanced Studies Diploma, which is what all students typically start out on their freshman year, they'll need 4 English credits, 4 math credits, 4 laboratory science credits, 4 social studies, 3 world language, health, physical education. They'll need 2 of those credits, 4 electives, as well as an economics and personal finance credit as well. The requirements for the Advanced Diploma Studies continue with a list of verified credits and other kind of assessment credits that they'll have. So there will be a 2 verified credits for English, a reading and a writing SOL that they'll take, a math SOL, a science SOL, social studies SOL, and so they'll need 2 English verified credits, 1 math verified credit, 1 science verified credit, 1 social studies verified credit. There's also going to be a CPR course that they'll need to take and pass as part of PE 9. There's an online course requirement, which typically all students will meet taking their economics and personal finance class. There's also going to be a career readiness experience that's recommended, but then also industry certification, honors, or AP class that they'll need to make sure that they take. And there's a number of ways they can get the industry certification. There's an end of course test for economics and personal finance that they can get the industry certification for. But typically, if a student takes and passes an honors or AP class, they'll get that industry certification as well. For the standard diploma, the course requirements are 4 English, 3 math, 3 science, 3 social studies, 2 sequential electives, so that's a part 1 and a part 2 of something. So for instance, that could be a Spanish 1 and a Spanish 2, or a business law and accounting, or nutrition and wellness, and like an intro to hospitality course. There's a lot of different, or art one, art two. There's a lot of different things that could be, as long as there's a part one and a part two of something. They also will need to do the 2 health and physical education credits. There's also 4 other electives they need to take care of, and then the 1 personal finance credit as well. Verified credits for the standard diploma include, again, still that 2 verified English credits for reading and writing, the 1 for math, 1 for science, and 1 for social studies. They do also have the CPR course that they need to take care of through PE9, the online course, obviously through Economics and Personal Finance again. And then for the standard diploma specifically, they do need to have the industry certification with the WISE test, which is that financial literacy test that they'll take through their Economics and Personal Finance course. And then again, there's always the recommended career readiness experience, which they can do a number of different ways through several different electives that we have to choose from. GPA, grade point average is what that stands for. Each course they complete, they earn quality points depending on the grade they earn. So you can take a look at the chart here. It gives like just a good breakdown of how they can earn points toward their GPA. There are different point values associated with different levels of classes. So typically with a regular class, you're going to get that 0 to 4 scale, 0 being an F, 4 being an A. We don't do plus or minus grades, so it really is just a true A, B, C, D, or F. And then if you look at the honors grade point grade point values, you'll see that there's an extra half a point given toward GPAs for students who are taking those honors classes. And then you can see kind of they do progress up from there. So dual enrollment will give you an extra 0.75, and then advanced placement gives you a full extra point. So if a student gets a B in a regular class, they're going to get 3 points toward their GPA. Honors 3.5, dual enrollment 3.75, and then advanced placement or AP courses, they'll get that full 4.0 for a B. So it's just really important as your students make the grades in their courses to kind of refer to this chart and breakdown. Obviously, the grade point average is an average of all the grades they receive divided by the number of grades that they have. But this is pretty much how we build, or how they build their GPA and the point values associated with the grades they get. GPA does matter. I think this is something that we are constantly having to remind, especially our first year students, that your GPA matters, and it starts as soon as you take your first high school course. So a lot of your students have probably already taken Algebra 1, or they're in it now, or they're taking like French 1 or Spanish 1 or PE even. Those grades matter, and they all kind of transition over to high school with them if they're receiving high school credit for them. So they matter for college admission. They matter for athletics. You do have to maintain a certain GPA to participate in athletics with us. Honor societies, different programs, academic programs they might want to apply to, scholarship opportunities, and then even car insurance rates. The better your GPA is, the lower your rates will be, and that's especially good for our first-time drivers and those families who plan on getting insurance for their students that way. So definitely GPA matters, good grades matter, and the process starts a lot sooner, I think, than people realize. So it's important to make sure you keep your grades up as high as you can as soon as you start taking those high school courses, because it does all come into play at some point. This is a list of some of our academic opportunities that are a few of them are extracurricular in nature, but they also are, a lot of them are co-curricular as well. So in ninth grade, your students will have access to our governor's STEM Academy. Many of your students have heard at this point about some of these programs, or you're planning to attend electives fair, or some of these programs are planning to visit or have visited your students virtually, or you might have older students who've been a part of them as well. But the Governor's STEM Academy is definitely obviously focused on science, technology, engineering, and math, and helps develop a pathway for students who plan on just wanting to learn more about those areas and potentially pursue college or or career in those areas. There's also the Fine Arts Academy for students who are interested in visual performing arts. And there's the AVID program. And again, for fine arts, you definitely don't have to be planning to major in that in college or pursue a career. But if in high school you just want to become a better artist or learn more about the arts and kind of hone your craft as an artist, that's an awesome program to be a part of. The AVID program. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. It's kind of a pre-college program specifically designed for students who would be first-generation college students, to give them an opportunity to be exposed to some strategies, some support to help them kind of get to college and be prepared for that journey when it's time. It is an elective in their schedule, but it focuses on study skills and just all the college prep things that students would need to be able to be successful in college. But it's definitely geared toward first generation college students. Dual language opportunities. Some of your students have already participated in that and have been since elementary school, and so we do have kind of a continuation of the dual language program. There's no requirements for dual language at the high school level, but there's definitely opportunities to continue in the language immersion. There's the In the 10th through 12th grade, these are some of the opportunities that your students could have access to. There's MTC, the Massanutten Technical Center, where they can do some vocational training. There's dual enrollment courses where they can actually earn high school and college credit at the same time through Blue Ridge Community College. Advanced placement or AP courses are national courses, college prep courses. So they're classes that students can take for high school credit, but then potentially earn college credit for them once they, depending on their performance on the end of the AP exam, the end of course exam. Then there's the Massanutten Regional Governor School, which is a program where students can actually go half day to our area governor school, and that program is focused on environmental science and some technology, but mostly environmental science and research and things like that. And yeah, that they can do that in their 11th and 12th grade year. And there's the Blue Ridge Scholars Program, which is where students can actually have the opportunity to earn an associate's degree while they are completing their high school requirements as well. So more information to come, obviously, on these programs as your students continue to matriculate through Harrisonburg High School. There'll be lots of opportunities at our electives fair. So if you don't have if you haven't had a chance to attend that, or won't have a chance, or you have not been there yet, then please access the opportunities at the electives fair, or just always reach out to one of the school counselors, and we can give you more information about these programs. So this is just kind of a couple of tips for getting your students started off for success. That transition to ninth grade can be pretty tough sometimes, especially now in this kind of virtual world. We definitely want to make sure that they're off on the right foot. So we want to make sure that you are encouraging them to attend school every day on time for the full day. It's very important. There's a lot of information coming at students every day, and any day they miss is a potential for them to be behind in getting the instruction, the information that they need, important announcements. No day is a slow day. They definitely want to be present for every day and the full day. It looks great for their attendance records, and just helps them kind of stay on track and focused on their goals of success in their classes and the ultimate graduation. Um, Know and encourage compliance with school policies. Our school handbook is available on our website. So having your student understand what the responsibility is as a high school student, and what your responsibility and what your rights are as a parent is really important as well. So being familiar with those can definitely go a long way to making sure your student experiences success with us. Monitor your students' progress through Parent Portal. You will receive, or you should already have, access to their Parent Portal at the middle school level, and that access should roll over to the high school. But if you have not received access to Parent Portal, you need help with doing that, you can always reach out to your child's counselor. We can make sure that we get you access to Parent Portal, because that's definitely a great way to stay on top of their grades, their attendance, all the missing assignments, those things, to kind of help encourage your student to make sure they're getting their assignments done on time. attend conference days and special events. We love to see you. We love for you to be a part of what we're doing at the high school. I think we do this weird thing when kids get to high school. We kind of turn them loose, and there's no more of those fun parent-teacher nights and those types of things. But we love to see our parents too. And although kids definitely, our students have a little bit more responsibility and freedom at the high school level, we love interacting with parents as well and wanting you to be a part of their experience. So always feel free to come to attend conference days and special events with us, because we love to have you there and partnering with us to help your student be successful. Reach out to counselors and teachers at any time. We are here to help. No concern is too big or too small. Like we want to be here for you. So never feel like you are bothering anyone to just send an email or to call, or just keep those communication lines open between teachers and counselors, even principals. I think overall, just helping our students realize that there's a village, there's a community behind them that's pushing them to be successful, and we're all kind of on the same page. So always feel free to reach out to us. Absences and tardies. Students' attendance is very, very important to us. We expect that students are at school every day on time to each block, each class. There definitely are consequences for tardies and absences. So, and when we talk about absences, we're talking about unexcused for those that aren't doctor's notes. Or we definitely encourage you to plan doctor's visits and things outside of school hours if you can. But we understand that there's times where it's really difficult to do that. So those obviously will be excused. But for those unexcused absences and tardies, we definitely want to keep those to a minimum and just recognize that there are consequences for those. So it can be after school detention or Saturday school, in school, out of school, night school. There's a lot of things that can come from that if those become excessive. Skipping class is definitely not a good idea. So we want to see you in class engaged. And we don't want to have to go into any of these consequences, but just want you to understand that attendance is important to us, and there are definitely things in place to make sure that the students understand the importance of getting to school every day and on time.
We want to highlight for you some of the things that high schoolers experience in this transition and some of the things that you can expect in the coming year or so. One of the major transitions is time management. For example, they're going to have a lot more independent work and things to do on their own. Another one I'm going to highlight is sleeping habits. A lot of times as we come into adolescence and we have that extra work, sleep can go by the wayside. They can stay up later. So really just developing sleeping habits and a regular sleep pattern, you as parents can help support this and just talk with your students about the importance of it. Lots of other things, organization, self-advocacy, they really become independent in these high school years, and we really encourage that independence and help them figure out how to get to classes on time and do their work. So organization and all those things, we are here to support them figuring those things out, and please just reach out if you need any help.
And while it is important to be aware of some concerns that might arise during these years, it's also extremely important that you know that we are here to support you. And we are very fortunate to be a part of a school that has a lot of resources that we can offer your student and your family as you face some of these challenges. First and foremost are just our staff, our admin, our teachers, our school counselors. We do have a mental health counselor on staff, as well as career and college advisors are all here to support you and your student. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have a question. Also, don't hesitate to reach out about victories if you're observing some strengths in your student. We want to hear all of it. We are big believers that it takes a village, and we want to be a part of your village. Some specific things we want to highlight are opportunities for tutoring, our ninth grade academy that's offered through On the Road Collaborative, and also built-in times that we have during our school day. Extended learning time, or ELT, is a time built into our schedule where your student can get extra help or catch up on makeup work. So it's really important to use that time wisely. And it's something you can talk to your student about and ask them, hey, do you have ELT coming up? What could you do during that time to get caught up? Also, we have advisory, which is a time where we talk to students about things going on in their life, going on in the world, and important topics beyond the classroom. So these are all some great resources built into the day that we encourage you to ask your student about. But again, just don't forget that we are part of your team and we want to support you in any way that we can.
Naviance is our college and career exploration and planning platform. All students 9th through 12th have a Naviance account. They can use this for planning out their courses, completing career and interest learning surveys, and college and career searches. Seniors use Naviance for college application supporting documents for transcripts and letters of recommendation. We encourage all students to utilize this great program. And of course, we encourage positive involvement. It is so healthy for our students to join a club or a program or an activity, something that they're interested in, maybe they've never tried before, and to meet new people. Let's pause for a few questions. Mr. Brandon Burley is our Director of Student Athletics and Activities. The Virginia High School League offers various activities and athletics throughout the year. In the fall, we offer football, cross country, volleyball, golf, and cheer. In the winter, basketball, gymnastics, sideline cheer, swimming, indoor track, and wrestling. And in the spring, baseball, softball, tennis, track, and soccer. There are other VHSL activities listed here. And as you can see, there really is something for everyone. A few notes about athletics. All participants must get a sports physical to participate. Many times these are offered at Centera RMH in the springtime for a low cost. Students must maintain a 2.0 GPA or higher to earn enough credits to participate in VHSL-sponsored activities. A note about summer school. It usually begins a week after school ends. In the past, it's run for about 6 weeks from Monday through Thursday. And you can find the summer school application on the HHS website around May 1st. Students are only allowed to have 2 absences, so if you're planning on doing some traveling, please plan accordingly. And students are allowed to take 1 course each summer. Sometimes the health and PE courses are extra popular and need to be run on a lottery system, but for the most part, if a student really wants to take the course, they are able to. Middle school courses with high school credit. So if your child has been taking a course such as algebra or PE or a language course, families do have the option to opt out of those high school credit courses at the end of middle school. This would allow them to not have it appear on transcripts, and they would need to repeat the course if it is a required course for graduation. Forms are usually shared by each middle school at the end of the school year, and we would need to have those forms turned in by the end of August. Please see your middle school counselor if this is something you are interested in. What's next? Today and after today, you'll be able to access links on our HHS website that share information about all of our programs and electives. On February 10th, we will have live sessions that you can join in to ask questions and hear more about in detail. Please see the HHS website for details. In early March, we will be sending course selection information in the mail to all students. And students will have the opportunity to have a virtual tour of HHS and meet their school counselor. Finally, right before spring break, we hope to visit with our students to have a one-on-one meeting to review their course requests and to get to know them just a little bit. Finally, in August, we usually have an orientation, more information coming soon. Here's some quick information about the electives fair, as mentioned. This is a 2-part event, as you can see. If you see a program here that you are interested in, please plan on attending. And please feel free to come with questions. And finally, what to expect in August. Schedules usually are available on or about registration day. More information to come about the orientation. And once the school year starts, there is an add drop period to request a schedule correction or change. After that, schedules are final. We thank you for joining us, and we encourage you to ask any final questions.